So hello again, and this is the second video of this video course, and it's about integration of NodeRED. NodeRED is software initially developed by IBM and widely popular now. It can be used for Visual Logic Flow Designer. It has got sufficient, it's sufficient for non-hard real-time automation, and it can synchronize data with EVA ICS via UDP in real time. So I have here empty NodeRED installed, and we'll use standard components only. We'll use UDP source, and EVA ICS will send BuzzRT events to this connector. So here is EVA ICS Cloud Manager running with two sensors which change their values, and let's get value from sensor environment temperature, like from this one. It's actually changing using MATLAB Simulink. And let's use a service. It's called, let's go to contrib on GitHub. It's called bus to UDP. Don't confuse with bus to raw UDP. This one is for raw UDP packets. This is for MATLAB, for example, sources, and bus to UDP is for like sources which accept rich payloads like JSON. So I have the service already downloaded, and the template looks like this. So we subscribe to some sensors or some units. We have target to send data to, and we have message pack by default payload and JSON support. So let's deploy the service via Cloud Manager. Load the template, bus to UDP. So I have it already downloaded to EVA for contrib, and will not use system user because I run EVA ICS is a restricted user EVA core. And let's call it EVA bridge UDP1. And let's go to configuration. So my NodeRED IP and sensor is actually sensor env temp. You can subscribe basically to any sensor, but let's subscribe to sensor env in total. And let's send to port 9999. As configuration, it's okay. So let's try to deploy it. So it's online. Let's just test it. Okay, so it works. And now let's go to NodeRED. So let's go to NodeRED. This is wrong console. Let's go to NodeRED, and here we have like UDP source on port 9999, and let's configure it. Let's call it EVA ICS in, and let's put debug here. Deploy, and we have like data coming. Data is actually coming because in message pack, I guess. So let's stop this one. Let's go back to Cloud Manager, and let's switch it to JSON. Configuration. So format should be JSON. JSON. Okay. So what do we have now? Let's check it once again. String. Deploy. So we have a, we have 9999 UDP source on port 9999, and let's configure it. Let's call it EVA ICS in, and let's put debug here. Deploy, and we have like data coming. Data is actually coming because in message pack, I guess. So let's stop this one. Let's go back to Cloud Manager, and let's switch it to JSON. Configuration. So we have finally we have incoming JSON payload. I will stop my sensor generation to see how the payload looks like. Let's put it here, JSON parser. Remove this debug. So this is just parse JSON, and we need actually a switch to switch between different OIDs. So we need temperature sensor to get data, and if message payload OID equals to this one, OID switch. So we go to exit number 1. Actually, we filter this event values with this block. So let's test the configuration. Let's put the bug here now, and let's deploy it. Start our simulation, and we have value of the sensor status, and let's decide what do we want to automate. I have created a unit called NodeRED Fun. So let's open a dashboard. So the fun can be turned on and off. And it turns on and off on the dashboard. So let's automate when the temperature goes about, let me just check, threshold, goes about 25. Let's turn the fan on, and when it goes below 20, let's turn the fan off. So let's add logic here, and add another switch. Let's call it temperature logic, or like this. And message payload, we have value. When value goes above or equal 25, let's go to 1. And when the value goes below 20, let's go to output 2. So here is 1, and here is number 2. And now we need to send that commands back to EVA ICS. For this, we don't need to deploy any third-party service, because EVA ICS has got SNMP trap handler, which can also handle simple UDP traps. They are called native. And with native traps, we can send a payload, like just a text payload, which is looks like this, like A for action, or action in full, and after unitoid, and X for execute. Actually, it has got T for toggle, and but we actually want to execute and put 1 for to turn the fan on, and 0 to turn the fan off. So let's deploy the sender service to EVA ICS. I have actually one deployed, but let's deploy one from scratch. So load template, I'll use a standard template from EVA ICS. Controller trap, EVA. Let's call it controller trap 2. Don't use system user. Don't switch user because I have restricted. And for host allow, let's allow for now just everything. And we can turn the verbose mode to see all traps in logs, but let's keep it off. And here we need just a protocol native. Process can be any because native traps are processed by core directly. And we will listen to like the port 882221. So these options are generally for SNMP. This one is for UDP encrypted. We don't use UDP encrypted in this example. And MIPS are not required. We can remove just them. And process macro is not required. Protocol is native. And let's open setup. Let's check help. So protocol must be EVA v1 for native. So let's put native and let's deploy it. So it's on, and just to check the port. So the port is 8821. So let's go back to NodeRED and set up our automation. So let's add here a template to turn the fan on. Let's go back to documentation. And for action, we need this payload. We just copy paste it and call it fan on. We'll have here unit NodeRED fan. To turn it on is 1, and to turn it off is 0. So the first output goes, if we have about 25 goes the fan on, and below 20 goes the fan off. And now we need UDP out to port to destination EVA ICS IP and port 8821. Let's call it EVA ICS out. Connect everything. So once again, we are using this contrib bus to UDP service in EVA ICS contrib to get bus-RT events to UDP. It can be used for any software, not for NodeRED only. And we use a native trap handler to get events from NodeRED back to get comments. So let's just deploy it. Let's open our simulation and let's start it. I have a problem here. You need to specify port not here but here. So let's fix it. Let's deploy it once again. Let's start our simulation. And the fan is on. Let's wait until the temperature goes below 20. And the fan is off. So it works. So it goes up again. And it's on 25. So the simulation works and our logic flow works. So NodeRED can be used to automate EVA ICS. If you don't need something really close to hard real time, is a perfect software for automation. Thank you for watching today, and in the next video we will look on Grafana application for EVA ICS, which can create this dashboards with EVA ICS monitoring information and even controls directly in Grafana.